Right, hello and welcome back to our virtual happy hour series with Spirit Hub. I'm Emily and this is episode 15. Today we are going international and we are going up to our friends in Alberta, Canada to Eau Claire Distillery, and we are going to talk with their master distiller, Caitlin.
Hi guys, I'm Caitlin. I'm master distiller, Eau Claire Distillery. We're located just outside Calgary, Alberta, about 40 minutes south in Turner Valley.
Perfect. And for those of you that are not familiar with Spirit Hub, we are an online retailer of craft spirits from over 200 independently owned distilleries in the nation, including our international friends. We ship hard to find spirits directly to your door within the state of Illinois. We are expanding into new states very shortly, so just be on the lookout for that. And again, today we are very excited to talk to Caitlin and all of the work and production that goes in with Eau Claire Distillery and their products. So I'm going to hand that off to her, and she's going to talk to us today about her two different types of spirits that we carry. We have a gin, and then we have a kind of a gin vodka liqueur mix. So I'll hand that off to Caitlin, and she'll tell us everything about Eau Claire Distillery.
Thanks, Emily. As I said, we're Eau Claire Distillery, and we started in 2014 producing. In 2015, we opened our tap room. We started off producing vodkas and gins, ultimately with the goal of creating whiskey, which we have in our barrel warehouse right now. The two spirits that I've got today are our gin and our prickly pear flavoured vodka. So they are ones that we have so far went international with, and we are very proud of both of them. They're very well received across the world. They're a bit unique as well, but yeah, we're all about farm to glass. We do our own horse farming. We do everything from 100% Alberta malted barley. Obviously, as you can hear, I'm not local. They imported me from Scotland. Who better to get me to make the whiskey than bring a Scottish distiller over to make whiskey in Canada? And that's kind of the quick and dirty of it. My background is chemistry primarily. I did an undergrad in chemistry in Glasgow, and then I did my master's in brewing and distilling at Watt, just outside Edinburgh, and then came straight out here. So I did about 6 years of school, and then I've been with Eau Claire for 5 now.
Love that. It's really interesting. So you grew up in Scotland and you went to college for chemistry and then became a master distiller.
Yep, I was actually born in Winnipeg, so I've got dual nationality, but I left and we went back to Scotland when I was 18 months old. So all I remember is Scotland until I moved back here.
Well, that's great. It's good that you can return back, and that's really interesting. It's awesome. Amazing. Well, perfect. You did mention that you guys were a farm to glass distillery. If you kind of want to reiterate what that is and what you guys do to preserve the farm to glass movement.
Sure. Yeah, we actually plant, grow, and harvest all our own barley. Not all of it. We do a section of it, and then we use part of that in the production of every bottle of our spirits. We don't have enough space to produce all of our barley, but we do get all of our barley from Alberta. So it's from within about a 50-kilometre radius of the distillery. And that way we are essentially taking control of every part of the distillation, from the grain that we choose to the yeast that we choose to how long we ferment for. We have a kind of finger in each part of it, so we can control every process.
I like that. And you guys do have, I know that last year we kind of featured your, was it Become a Farmer for a Day, where you invite the community out and they can come help harvest and they can come help plant, and they kind of get a hands-on experience about the, you guys still do traditional farming methods also. So if you kind of want
we do it all with horses. So instead of using the fancy combines that you see when you're driving down the highway, we use horses, heavy horses. They're actually percherons, they're called, but they're made for working and they pull horse-drawn equipment. And we have a full team of teamsters that are all kind of hobby farmers that love doing this. So they come out and they teach kind of all our volunteers, which some years we can get hundreds of volunteers coming out to try and help and be a farmer for a day and kind of see where it all began, how the history of this province started with all the horse farming.
That's awesome. Like I said, it's awesome that you can get hands-on experience and people can kind of understand a little better about the farm to glass movement and why it's so important. Especially like, I mean, you know where your stuff's coming from and where it's grown, and like you guys keep that nice like Canada ingredient and make it Canadian spirits. That's great. Perfect. Did you want to get into your first bottle spirit that we have here with you guys?
Yeah, sure. So I'll hold it up so everyone can see it. So this is our Parlour Gin. It is the most decorated gin in Canada right now. In Calgary alone, it's the #1 top selling craft gin. We've won multiple awards with it as well internationally. We won a gold at the World Gin Awards. We won a platinum at the SIP Awards, and we've also won in New York as well. So it's very well renowned, say, within the gin community right now, which is good to see, especially from a small town in Alberta. We're getting awards in America and in the UK for our gin, and the UK is known for gin as well. So yeah, it's a London dry style, juniper heavy, very botanical. So it shows up against any kind of mixer, so it's really good in cocktails. It's really good with tonic water, and a lot of people drink it in like really strong alcoholic cocktails, like a Negroni or something like that as well, where you can really taste the botanicals in it. And then, yeah, I'll take you through some tasting notes. So I'll pour myself some, because it's no fun doing tastings without trying some. And yeah, on the nose, it's pure juniper, like it hits you right in the face. But you get like a sweetness from the barley. So the spirit, because it's barley-based, it's got an underlying sweetness, so you don't get like a really harsh alcohol kind of nose on it. And then the same, like it's not like super alcoholic, it's like a long, clean finish, but it's sweet at the end because of the barley spirit. Like we don't add any sweetness to it, it's just that base spirit actually has a flavour to it, whereas some gins are made from like a neutral base, so all your flavours coming from the botanicals, which is great, but this one has that added layer and the kind of mouthfeel you get from that spirit underlying as well.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm still a little new to gin. I've had some gin that was like not that great, and then some of the gin that I've had now with craft spirits, I'm like, wow, I kind of like gin. So I'm kind of getting more into it.
A lot of people like that have a bad experience with gin when they're younger and then never want to touch it ever again. And then they try some of the craft gins and they're like, oh, it's very different. Every gin is very different, so you can't just blanket say you hate gin there.
That's right. Is there any unique methods or processes that go into distilling the Parlour Gin?
So the way we do everything, because we go straight from grain, by the time we get to gin, it's been distilled 3 times. So we've distilled the alcohol the first time to make what we call stripped alcohol. And that's kind of our base for everything that would go in to become whiskey or go into further processing for the white spirits. So then we take that stripped alcohol, it goes back in the still. We then bring it up to 92–93% alcohol, which is our rectified spirit, and we use that as the base for our gins or vodkas. So then we take that rectified, put it back in the still with all the botanicals, we steep that overnight, and then redistill it in the morning, which is what makes it a true London dry style. It's macerated the night before, it steeps all of the flavour in there, and then everything gets distilled in there and brings out the flavour the next day.
I like that. Look at that attention to detail. Perfect. Awesome. So you can find that. That is again the Parlour Gin from Eau Claire Distillery, and that is on spirithub.com. You can also find it in our comment section on our Facebook Live right now. Do you want to, Caitlin, go ahead and get into the prickly pear Equinox?
So here we go. This is the prickly pear Equinox. So the prickly pear Equinox started life as a distiller series. We have a range at the distillery where you can only buy it right here at the tasting room. And we do small batches of stuff. The distillers play around with different flavors and whatever we feel like playing around with. And then we trial it in small batches. So it started life like that. It was just a small batch. I think we did 60 cases the first run, and it sold out pretty much immediately because everyone loved it. And then after that, we brought it in as a seasonal, called it Spring Equinox. And then that again was still so popular that we ended up bringing it in as part of our core lineup. And it's now became the Prickly Pear Equinox. And then if you look at the artwork, it's called Equinox, and we've got a horse and an oxen. So yeah, it was the brainchild of one of the distillers before me, actually, like 6 years ago. He had seen prickly pears, like cactuses, growing in southern Alberta, which a lot of people don't imagine Alberta, Canada, to have prickly pear cactuses, but apparently they grow in southern Alberta. So he saw them, and there's a lot of places like Arizona that have a lot of prickly pear products, a lot of prickly pear in food products and as a flavor, ice creams and stuff like that. So we thought, why not? We'll try it out. So we tried it out, and it was really popular. Everyone seems to love it. It's really good as a replacement for pretty much vodka, rum, tequila, and any cocktail. So everyone really likes it. And then I'll go through the tasting notes on it. I always have really weird tasting notes on this one. All I smell from it is juicy fruit gum.
Juicy fruit.
And it's just like really tropical almost smelling. But again, like there's no sugar added to this, but it's got like a hint of sweetness, or like it convinces you it's sweet just from the nose on it. And then again, like it's smooth, it's not harsh. It's got that barley kind of rounding it out. So it's not like that really harsh alcohol burn you get with like a vodka. Mm-hmm. And again, like it's not sweet, but it's got that tropical flavor to it. So it's really good in like pretty much any cocktail.
Very interesting. That's why like it's probably one of the more interesting bottles that we carry, just because, like you said, it's very versatile. You can substitute it for a lot of other things, but it's tropical. It's not like scary. It doesn't scare people away. Yeah. I'm very interested in it. I have yet to try it. I'm sorry, but I would definitely more interested now.
Thank you.
And don't forget, again, you can buy that on spirithub.com if you're in Illinois. And don't forget that after we're going to get into some cocktails here in a minute, we do have a Q&A section after this. So if you guys have questions for Caitlin and for Eau Claire Distillery, please drop those in our Facebook comments, and we'll ask those towards the end. And again, we're going to get into some cocktails here in just a second. Right? So if you're just joining us, we are Spirit Hub, and we are here with our virtual happy hour series with Eau Claire Distillery from Alberta, Canada. We have Caitlin here as the master distiller. She just went over a few products that we have here and previewed her spirits. And now she's going to tell you how to enjoy those spirits. So we're going to get into some cocktail making.
Perfect. So I'm going to make the easiest cocktail in the entire world, and probably my most drank cocktail at home. It's going to be a simple gin and tonic. I'm going to do it a 2 ounce because it's nearly Friday, so why not? So 2 ounces of gin in your glass over ice. We actually make our own tonic water, so I'd recommend something similar on the premium side of things. We made our own tonic water because all of the kind of commercial brands out there we didn't really like with our gin. So I formulated this specifically to go with the Parlour Gin. But if you use Fever Tree, a Fentimans, something like that, one of the higher end ones is not as sugary, because a lot of people don't know that tonic waters have as much sugar as like a Coke. And then, yeah, you can mix it, you can stir it, you can spin it around. It's as easy as that.
Looks really refreshing.
Yeah, I've got like one of those big nice ice cubes in it as well, so it looks even better.
For sure. And again, you can find that on spirithub.com. We do have recipes for every listing that we have. We did just include it in the Facebook comments, so you can also check that out. I like the idea of using like the fresh tonic. I like that you guys make your own, and that the whole, like, it doesn't add sugar to it. And I know that's like really important to spirits, because as you mentioned before, like sometimes people drink it and it's like too sweet and you don't want to add more and more sugar to it. So it's really great.
Yeah, I always find people, when they think they don't like gin, they actually don't like tonic water because they've not had like a really good tonic water.
Interesting. Yeah, sometimes I feel like it's too hard or it's like too much, but it's good. Good to know. And then how would you enjoy the prickly pear Equinox?
So the prickly pear, it goes really well with the tonic water as well if you want something really quick and easy. Our marketing team, and Chelsea is over in the corner looking at me, she always says the 3 M's. So margarita, mojito, and mule. So it's basically a replacement for the vodka, the rum, and the tequila in those. And it goes really well with kind of like bold flavors, and it adds like another layer with that kind of prickly pear tropical kind of flavor to it. So personally, I would always have either a mojito or a mule because I think they're just really refreshing.
Perfect. Good to know. The 3 M's. Don't forget the mojito, the mule, and the, what was it again?
Margarita.
Margarita, of course. How? Perfect. Well, thank you. Awesome. So do we have any questions from our, we're going to get into our Q&A section here. Just a second. So let me see if I can't grab any questions. I do have a question for you.
Yep.
I would like to know what it is like. You're a young woman, you're a master distiller in I would say a male-dominated field. What advice would you give to other young women who are wanting to get into this industry?
I think firstly for anyone in any industry, like it's getting connections, it's networking, it's connecting with people who are doing the job that you want to do. And I think particularly for females, like don't ever think there's a job that is not a girl job. Like any job can be anyone's job. Like I'm doing this job, I have been for 5 years. I went to school for it, but a lot of people start out and they can just get into the industry and work their way up. Don't be scared to try and like reach out to people and try and get work experience, because it's hard to get experience in this industry without any education behind you or without opening up a distillery of your own or something like that. So just reach out. Like we're always happy to have people in. We can tour them around, we can educate them, they can come in and do a couple of like bottling shifts with us and ask as many questions as they want. So just reach out to anyone in any industry that you want to get into, because especially in the alcohol industry, and as much as I've been in it, everyone's very welcoming. So if you want to reach out and ask questions, like no one's going to shoot you down and not answer anything, especially in the craft industry.
Perfect. I love that. Thank you. Thank you for the advice.
No problem.
Women out there. I would like to know what inspired the name of Eau Claire Distillery?
So Eau Claire used to be a timber company in Calgary. So downtown Calgary, there's an area called Eau Claire, and their headquarters was actually out in Turner Valley. So this is kind of where their post was. And then also Eau Claire means clear water, and what better way to start your distillation process than with clear water?
Perfect. And you guys use Canadian Rocky Mountain water. What difference does that make for like just regular water?
Obviously, like being so close to the Rockies, like for anyone that doesn't know, we're very close to Banff. Most people know where Banff is, so we are kind of right at the base of the Rockies, and just having access to like clean, fresh water, not having to worry about treating it before it comes in and everything like that really helps. There's a lot of places in the world that need to treat like really saline, really hard, really soft water, so we're quite lucky that we have like a fresh source.
Interesting. Yes, I know how like freshwater aquifer is very important for the distillation process. Awesome. You guys do have other products other than just the two that we carry here at Spirit Hub. What is your favorite product that you distill or that you have created for Eau Claire Distillery?
It's a hard one. I'd say probably the one I'm most proud of was our first batch of single malt whiskey. Just because it was such a new product. We were the first craft whiskey that came out in Alberta, so it was very well received. The one that I drink the most is our cherry gin, which is our Parlour Gin infused with sour cherries. So it gives it a bit of a tart taste. It's really good in the Tom Collins.
sounds amazing. I've been eyeing that cherry gin. We'll have to keep an eye on it, see if we can get it here in the States on our platform for us. And also, I know that you guys have a soda company that you do. So do you guys want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So I showed you the tonic water earlier. We have 2 flavors. We've got our original and an Elderflower tonic water. They have about 70% less sugar than the commercial brands. So that's why a lot of people find the difference when they're mixing with our tonic water. Obviously, I specifically made this to go with our gins. We tested it so that it would go well with Parlour Gin and the cherry gin and everything like that. But as a kind of happy coincidence, it goes with most gins now because it is a very, like, it's not too sugary, it's not too overpowering, it's not going to drown out the flavours in the gin. We wanted to enhance the flavours in gin instead of just tasting tonic.
And that is something that I've definitely learned being in the craft industry, craft spirits industry, is that a lot of people emphasize on the cocktail enhancers. The ingredients of your cocktails are really what's going to make the cocktail experience the best. So going back to reiterate your tonic water, that is the best to mix with your gin. So perfect. Awesome. A couple more questions here. Let me see here. I have one. What difference does distilling in small batches make compared to distilling in like a very large capacity?
Well, I mean, like, there's a few things, like going from our size, like distilling in a huge capacity from like the beginning. If we'd done that in our first year, like if anything goes wrong, you've got a massive batch that you can't fix. So it's good in that sense. It also gives us a lot of control batch to batch. So if we want to tweak things and make the recipe better as we go, we can do that very easily, even on a daily basis if we wanted to. And it just lets us, when we distill, we can fully appreciate the climate, the time of year we're distilling, like what we're producing, whether it's whiskey or gin, and we can switch between them very easily as well.
I like that. Yeah, it keeps it like fresh. Yeah. Love it. Perfect. And then my last question to you is, what is the future for Eau Claire Distillery, and what comes next? What are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to when we have like a full portfolio of whiskey. Like, we've so far brought out 3 batches, so it's exciting. We're putting whiskey away all the time. You can see the barrels piling up and you're waiting for when you can crack them open and give them to people. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about growing the white spirit side of things as well, just bringing in new exciting things, all the kind of innovation side of stuff, experimenting with different types of spirits, maybe not just a gin or a vodka. We could branch into other types of spirits as well.
I like that. Expanding. Everybody kind of wants to be in the Browns area where they have whiskeys, but it's nice to have like a young whiskey, a Canadian whiskey. So that's perfect. And again, we'll have to see if we can get your some more SKUs on here for you guys, more bottles for everyone here in Illinois to order. And again, be on the lookout for that. We do have, again, all of the information that that Caitlin has shared with us today is in our Facebook comments, and again on spirithub.com. We do have a coupon code for the viewers and everybody watching. It's Happy 15, and that is a discount to Eau Claire Distillery's products. So that's HAPPY15. Use it at checkout. And that will wrap up our episode here. Caitlin, do you wanna say anything else before we head out?
I don't think so. Just thanks for having us, and I hope everyone enjoys their gin and their vodka.